We are using managed intensive rotational grazing using multiple species. So basically the way our grazing works is we're setting up daily paddock moves for our cattle. What that's doing for us and for the cows is we're able to maximize the acreage that we're on. We're a small farm, so we're able to maximize that acreage. We're harvesting fresh grass every day for those cows and able to keep it in that vegetative state to where it's got the highest amount of nutrients. We're moving those cattle from yesterday's manures to where the parasite load is lower on them. So that's better for their health, of course, but it's also allowing us to reduce the amounts of chemical wormers and fly sprays and things like that. And then it's also we're also trampling grass, which is feeding the microbes in our soil. So that's what it comes down to. We're feeding microbes and earthworms in our soil, and that's what's building the topsoil. So using strategic animal impact to build that topsoil, but mainly feeding the microbes, which is doing that for us. So behind the cows, we come with our poultry, whether that's our chickens or turkeys that we raise for the holidays. Those turkeys are coming behind the cows and sanitizing and fertilizing that pasture. They're going to pick through those cow pies, eat the parasite larva, and then put down really high nitrogen fertilizer behind them. So we're able to basically have our own fertilizer on farm.
What I love about that is that you're 130 acres now. In agriculture terms, that's a tiny farm.
That's a very small farm.
Yep. And I love that because Galen Iverstine's at 23, you and your dad can go and find this piece of land and say, you got to be creative. How can we make a living on this piece of land doing, this rotational grazing?
Right. Yeah. And what we're able to do, in most farms, you're going to have this commodities being produced over here, this commodities being produced over here. What we're able to do is stack enterprises on the same acreage. So our animals are visiting different acreage throughout the year, so we're not having to dedicate particular acreage to particular things. And that was a big reason we moved away from doing cow-calf production on our farm and went to straight stocker cattle. So we could run one herd. It just makes a small farm run a lot more efficiently.
Easier to manage, right?
It's a lot easier to manage. It's less land intensive because we're not having to manage a bull herd and a weaning herd and a cow herd. So we're able to run all those cattle together. Yep.